Hello. So you were just told you have liver cirrhosis or liver disease or some variation of it. What now? It's a confusing time. It's scary. You don't really know what's happening or what's going on because if you were like most people, you thought that liver cirrhosis was just something you got when you drank for 20, 30 years. That's that old guy with the bottle and the paper bag that, drinks constantly. Well, I'm going to try to break it down a little bit for you and kind of explain some of that confusion, hopefully. My name's Neil. I have end-stage liver cirrhosis. I know, I get told on my comments, oh, you don't look sick. Well, the liver's on the inside. It's not on the outside. So, trust me, I have had my days where I looked absolutely horrible and yellow. I looked like a pumpkin. But anyway, so today's video is going to be basically about what next, what's going to happen now, and I can only speak on my experiences and what I've been through and what I've learned over the past 2 years of having this disease, and hopefully it helps. First thing I want you to know is you're not alone. With that said, I do want to thank everybody who has donated my GoFundMe and helped me out with trying to move out of state so I can get better medical help. Like in my last video I said, I am on my own and I don't have a vehicle at the moment. Joys of living on disability. But I'm grateful for it. But anyway, I'm trying to get better health care because I'm just not getting the health care I need here in the location I'm at. It's too far away from the liver doctor. And also, there are other neurological issues that are not being addressed, which are going to affect the liver. So thank you so much for everybody who has helped. I am extremely thankful for that. There will be a link in the description of this video if you choose to help, but no, that is not why I am here making these videos. I am hoping to help somebody in the process and to let people know they're not alone. Other people are fighting this battle too. And it's a scary and it's a lonely road at times because a lot of times people just don't understand what you're going through. You may look normal from the outside, but you're anything but normal. Maybe at your worst, you look absolutely horrible, and I've had those days too. So, but anyway, for me, the last video I made, I talked about some of the symptoms that I went through in the process of having this disease. I'm not going to get too far into that. But anyway, just a quick overview if you didn't see that video. I drank for about 2 years. It was only 2 years. But there are many things that cause liver disease and liver cirrhosis, not just alcohol. Like I said before, the thought of, liver cirrhosis, if you're anything like me, before anybody said there was something wrong with your liver, you probably just thought it was a drinking disease and that was it. Well, it's not. For mine, I found out about a year into this diagnosis that there was a lot more to it, a lot of it being neurological. And that's what I'm in the process of trying to get dialed out now so that we can stop it from getting worse to buy me more time. But however, in that process, there's learning and we go through these things and it can be a very confusing time, like I said. So when I first went in, one of the first things I noticed was the legs swelling and then I lost all my muscle mass. I've had comments of people making on the videos saying, oh, you're getting older, that's why your muscles are losing. Beg to differ. The rock that is supposed to be a liver that's in me says otherwise. However, so going through that process of going in and first being told that I have, liver cirrhosis, I'm in liver failure, it was a scary time. I made that decision. I quit drinking about a month prior to this, and I made the decision that I wanted to get healthy, and it didn't matter why. A lot of times we go through the process of thinking, well, if I go in, I'm going to be embarrassed, or what are they going to think about me because I drank, or I, had this addiction or that addiction, or whatever it may be, fill in the blank. We all go through things, and we all deal with situations, and we all deal with hard times, and some are worse than others. Why we chose to switch to this addiction, each person's individual, and it doesn't make you a bad person. We make choices and we deal with them and we move on throughout it. This is definitely not a channel for judging or anything like that. So when I went in, I told them, what I've been drinking, how much I'd been drinking. They did a blood test, checked the alcohol content, and they saw that there wasn't really much of anything in me because I hadn't drank for over a month at this point in time. So I had a bunch of fluid in my stomach and in my lungs, so they transferred me to a liver hospital and they pulled that out. I was in the hospital for about 10 days that first time, and then they gave me a couple medicines. And if you know anything about cirrhosis, or if you have it, you probably know the two medicines I'm talking about. One is lactulose. Lactulose is a nasty tasting laxative that collects ammonia to flush it out. And then there's Xifaxan. Xifaxan is a pretty large pill, and that actually puts a degree of protection on your brain to, stop it from being altered and changed by the ammonia poisoning. Excuse me. Why is the ammonia poisoning happening? Well, the liver's supposed to filter that out. And when your liver is not working, among many other things that it does, it stops filtering that. And that can cause things like confusion, forgetfulness. And when I'm talking forgetfulness, I'm talking like, forgetting years, forgetting, not just simple words or losing your place in sentence. I have memory blocks that I don't remember large periods of time, and it can change. It can do personality changes. It can make slurred speech, major confusion, not knowing where you are, not knowing what's going on. It can make you aggressive. It can do a lot of things. It can even put you into a coma. So these medicines are super important to protect from that happening. So I got out of the hospital and I got on these medicines, and I went in to see the liver doctor, about a month later, I think it was, or something like that. And she just said, okay, well, keep taking the medicine and we'll keep monitoring you, and kind of sent me off. And I still left with this confusion, like, what does that mean? Like everybody else, I start Googling it. Life expectancy. Oh my gosh, this is the end. It's over. It says your max, expectancy, if you Google it, is 2 years. That's not true. There are many factors involved in liver disease, and everybody is different. Some people may go into this and have a short period of time, unfortunately, and that is so sad. And some people may go into this and have years. There are different levels to the cirrhosis. I mean, your liver can survive on 5%, capacity, for years, believe it or not. Now, once it becomes cirrhotic, that means that the tissue, it's all scar tissue, and it's hardened scar tissue, and it's not going to regenerate or heal itself at this point in time. So what now? Well, first thing I would recommend, don't just take my word for it, because I am not a medical professional. I can just speak of my experiences, but do your research. Don't just read what it says in Google. Watch some videos, on the situation. YouTube's a really good source for it, which you found this video on YouTube. Listen to doctors. Tell your doctor everything that's going on. Be honest with the situations. If you make a mistake and you go back to maybe having a drink, be honest. My recommendation first, like, I made the choice at that time that I wasn't ever going to pick up a drink again. And I was going to change my life, and I was going to tell them everything. And I was just going to be honest, and I wanted to fix it. You know, I didn't know how bad it was going in, obviously. But knowing now, you know, and again, it's still been, I haven't had a drink in close to 2.5 years. I'm sorry, it's been a little more than 2 years since I was diagnosed. I was diagnosed in May of 2022. So, you know, 2.5 years roughly. But anyway, so you know, there's no word that says how long you have or how long you don't have. Diet's huge. You definitely need to continue bringing in protein as much as possible. I don't remember the exact numbers. For everybody, it might be a little bit different. That is something you want to talk to your doctor about, and maybe have them get you with a nutritionist to help you with that, and what are good sources of protein and what are not for your particular case. You could have other things that are contributing. You could have, you know, other situations that you're going through. Everybody is different. You know, I continue to have people make comments, fast. I do not believe in this. That is me. And no, I have not dug deep into this whole fasting thing. But you know, this is what I know. I lost the ability to swallow solids and liquids due to this neurological issue. And I went 4 days without eating, and I turned all kinds of shades of yellow. My numbers went through the roof. My MELD score went from about 15 at the time, well, about 16 at the time, to over 20. And just from not getting the protein into my body. So I do not believe in fasting. You know, people keep putting these comments in all the time about, you know, doing all this fasting diets, and maybe there's some benefits to that and other things, but when you're looking at the liver needs the protein. If your liver was working fine and maybe there are other reasons you're fasting, maybe this would be good, and that's just my opinion. Do not take that as, you know, Neil said this, so this is that. Do your own research on these kind of things. I'm not going to really get into diet too much on this. I just wanted to say that because I don't want anybody to stop eating when just from a comment they read, and then that could do other damages. And again, there are different levels. Maybe you have a certain level of, you know, liver disease, and fasting may work for you. I don't know. But in my situation, that's how I feel about it. But however, continuing on with this, sorry about that, I kind of got off topic. Anyway, so now we're in this position where we have this disease, we've got some new medicines, we've talked to our doctors a few times. Okay, well, when do I go to the hospital? When should I go be looked at? Well, it's your body. You know it better than anyone else. You know, there's been times, I can't tell you how many times I've gone in because, you know, something just felt off. You know, maybe I became extremely weak, or I had a little bout of confusion. Definitely you should go in if you wind up with any kind of confusion or any of those symptoms I told you about earlier to have to do with the ammonia. It's called hepatic encephalopathy. That is very important because letting that go could slip into a coma, and that could be dangerous. Any kind of bleeding should definitely go in. If you notice, you know, throwing up blood, because those are from what's called varices. Basically, think of them as, usually if you have cirrhosis, you have portal hypertension, which is that main vein that carries all those proteins and nutrients and everything else through the blood system, is now being restricted, and it creates a lot of pressure there. And what happens is, think of it like you're driving down a highway and there's a huge backup of cars, and all of a sudden, instead of waiting, people start driving through the cornfields. Well, that's what happens with your veins. Your body wants to find a way. So what it does is starts putting these new veins through your esophagus and through other places, and those veins can be dangerous because they're not really supposed to be there, and they could burst. I've had this happen throwing up blood and everything else, and it wasn't pretty. So I've had like 8 or 9 varices binded. What that is, that's when they go in with the scope and they put these bands around them, around the veins to close them off. So I've had that done as well. Any kind of blood anywhere, whether it's blowing it out or coming out the front or coming out the other way, that is very important. If you wind up with some kind of infection where you're sick or something like that, you should definitely be seen, because your liver also works on the proteins, which can help you fight diseases, or not just diseases, fight bacteria in your body, fight off these sicknesses, these colds and these flus and things like that. So I definitely recommend at least seeing your doctor anytime you get sick. I find that to be important. So those things you should definitely do. But anyway, I'm going to bring this video to an end, but I want everyone to know that you're definitely not alone, and this is not a process that you're probably going to figure out in, a week, 2 weeks, or even a couple months. It takes time to understand it, and, give yourself that time. Read as much as you can. There are some good books out there about liver diets and things like that. Also, keep in mind those supplements that they say, like milk thistle and all these other herbal supplements. Be careful with those. Do your research on those, because where those may be good in a normal situation, remember, if your liver's having trouble processing things, and because of the fact that it is not working properly, some of these items that are designed to cleanse the liver may make your liver work harder, and it's not able. So you could actually have the opposite effect. So I would definitely recommend doing research into anything you take and talking to your doctor before taking any herbal supplements or anything like that. I'm not saying not to, or that they're all bad. I'm just saying make sure you find out what the studies have found in somebody who is cirrhotic, if you do have liver cirrhosis, before you make that choice. The same with the fasting diet. I recommend doing research on that, about how it affects long-term and short-term having liver cirrhosis. I think those are important. Always do your research, because I don't have all the answers, and I don't know anybody who does. So, and talking to your liver doctor is so important. And if you don't have a liver doctor and you just have a GI, it might be a good idea to ask your GI for a referral to a hepatologist, which is a liver specialist, because they deal in the liver specifically. Anyway, with that said, again, thank everybody for your help with the GoFundMe and the process of trying to move to a different area to get better medical care. You've all been a blessing, and I want to thank everyone for your time, and I hope this video helps someone. All right, everyone, have a good day.